In this video, we are going to draw the direct parallels between Hitler and Trump and talk about how COVID was a silent Holocaust committed under a medical guise.
Since 1939, the Nazis have been carrying out a secret euthanasia campaign. It will become their dry run for how to commit mass murder without upsetting the German public. First, they need willing accomplices. Pliable nurses and doctors are instructed to single out terminally ill and disabled children. The next step is to deceive the people who might object. Parents are told their loved ones are to be sent to care centers for special treatment. And finally, they need a method of killing. Quiet and discreet. They choose murder by lethal injection. Some 5,000 innocent children are killed. Their only crime to be sick or disabled. The truth is hidden by false death certificates, blaming measles or pneumonia.
It's Hitler sort of kind of dipping his toe in the water with the German public to see what he can get away with.
Then the regime escalates the program, targeting tens of thousands of disabled adults in institutions across Germany. Ramping up the numbers involves more doctors, and some voice doubts about the legality of the policy. It's a problem that goes to the Führer himself.
And so Hitler wrote a note, which he rarely did, and signed, saying to the people in the Chancellery concerned with the medical profession that this was now a policy that could be followed legitimately.
For the German doctors, it's now official. They are obeying the Führer's orders.
That's what the new culture is, they say to themselves. That's the environment. That's the classic road to hell.
A secret department, known as T4, is set up to mastermind the process. To kill so many, quickly and quietly, they need new techniques. What the men at T4 come up with is a shower room. Except these pipes.
So during COVID, a lot of people weren't allowed to see their family, friends, children. Nobody was allowed to visit them in the hospital, even though people still get COVID. Why? Because coronavirus is just a cold virus, just like a flu virus. But there's different strains, and some are stronger than others, and some can cause pneumonia and other horrible respiratory symptoms, right? And if you're immune compromised or elderly, you can die from the flu, you can die from the cold, you can die from a coronavirus. Which is what made it more bullshit when the media was saying that coronavirus was targeting black people. How does a cold target someone based on skin color? No. But what better way to hide a secret unaliving of people by using doctors and nurses in the hospitals without any family present, nobody there, under the guise of a pandemic? Yes, there are some people who got sick and died legitimately, but I don't believe all of them did. And there were falsified death certificates. My mother actually knew someone who had a heart condition, and they falsified her death certificate by claiming that she died from COVID when she actually did not. So they were falsifying death certificates during the pandemic, claiming people were dying from COVID when they weren't. That is identical to what Hitler did with his secret euthanization program. Another thing is people still get COVID, and now you can visit them in the hospital. You can go there even with a person having COVID. There's no more, oh, your family and friends are not allowed in the hospital. We ran out of space. Bodies pile up as New York struggles to bury its dead. The coronavirus crisis is overwhelming New York. Over 1 million unclaimed bodies are buried on a little-known island in New York. New York City crematories are extending their hours, burning bodies into the night. Now, since he controls all of the media, which is exactly what Hitler did, and he controls what we all consume, there is so much propaganda and misleading information. For example, if you research how many people died from ventilators during COVID, there are many reliable sources that will tell you 90% of people who were put on ventilators during COVID died, and that they didn't need to be put on a ventilator. New study shows nearly 9 in 10 COVID-19 patients on ventilators don't make it. Ventilators are overused for COVID-19 patients. NPR is usually a reliable source. I mean, even CNN. Ventilator survival rates for COVID appear higher than first thought. COVID patients may have died due to ventilator errors by hospital staff. Errors. Right. But due to propaganda, there is also so many other articles saying this is false information, this isn't true, but it is true. Trump orders Attorney General to facilitate lethal injections for death penalties. The death chamber for lethal injection. President Trump indicated he intends to resume executions of federal death row prisoners and forcefully pursue new death sentences in future cases, particularly against migrants in the U.S. without legal status who commit capital crimes. Sound familiar? Because this is exactly what Hitler did to the Jews. Literally textbook. This is whitehouse.gov. Restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered capital punishment is an essential tool for deterring and punishing those who would commit the mass. And this is what they did. This is how Hitler convinced other Germans to turn against Jews, by creating this other, us versus them, and a false crisis of Jews being in Germany and causing problems when they actually weren't, just like the migrants aren't causing any problems in America any more than fellow Americans are. The migrants aren't committing more crimes than born American citizens are. That is bullshit.
The Fuhrer must not be associated with anything disreputable. These lessons will define how the Nazis deal with the Jews. In particular, Hitler will never personally sign a compromising document.
So just like Trump with Project 2025, Hitler did not want to be affiliated with the Nazis' plans.
To help finance his evil plans, Himmler turns the final solution into a commercial partnership between the SS and Germany's corporate giants. The SS make a fortune leasing out their Jewish prisoners, men, women, and children, to work in IG Farben's factories.
We can actually see that in the killing process, we do have partners in crime here. Not just the Nazis, but also here a massive capitalist enterprise that enters into...
Did we not just see Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and every billionaire standing next to Trump at inauguration? Did Trump not just form an alliance and create a capitalist oligarch? No. The same exact thing that Hitler did is literally the exact same thing that Trump is doing. So when he was last president, they did a lot of silent mass unalivings. That was a test run, just like Hitler did. That was a test run. This is the run. This isn't a test run. This is real.